Hi everyone, Joel here. This is a coaching demonstration, and in this demonstration, Master Ontological Coach Alan Sieler will be coaching Jessica. And after the coaching, I'll be back to speak with Alan about why did he ask the kinds of questions that he asked and why did he make the kind of coaching moves that he made. All right, let's dive in.
I was wondering, Jessica, did you want to find out a little bit more about me, my background, my approach to coaching, or are you okay with that?
Well, the thing is, I asked myself that question and I thought, what I will do is go in blank.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I Googled you, I saw your name, and then I stopped in the process and I thought, no, don't want to know anything. I just want to.
All right. So you're okay if we get underway then?
Sure. Yeah.
Which is to start off with, what would you like to explore? What sort of issue would you like to take a look at?
Yeah, I've given that some thought. It's a personal issue, and it's one that has been popping up. It's in my undercurrent, so to say, and it's the issue of. I set myself a daring goal at the end of last year to finally get, I'm 46 years old, to finally get my driver's license.
Okay.
And to even buy an electric car. And the reason I've never decided to get the driver's license is that from early age on, I hated cars. They totally contradicted with my values of sustainability. I remember when I was 9, I wrote a poem about cars destroying the environment. I hate being confined in that small space. And I love the freedom of traveling by foot, by bike. I love the health aspect of it. I love the adventure when I use public transport, having conversations with complete strangers. So it never was an issue, basically. It just belonged to me and how I live my life.
Yeah.
Until last year. So my parents, they live close by, they're getting older, they need some help. I have a significant other living in a remote area that has hardly any public transport. So there's an urgency.
Okay. Yeah.
And what I noticed that even now that urgency is there, I feel so much resistance towards tackling it. I have the books here. I have the theory driver's license book up here. I open them and I close them, and I don't recognize that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there's if we put it, there's a good practical reason for your life to get your driver's license and to be able to be mobile by car.
Yeah.
But to do so seems like contradict the core values you've lived from.
Yeah. Sort of. Yeah.
Is that accurate? Is that an accurate summary?
I would say that's accurate. It does. Yeah.
Okay. And what would you like to get from our conversation today?
Some clarity around maybe blind spots that I have around this. What is it that I'm not seeing? I'm very able to tell you what my core values are around not getting the driver's license.
Yeah.
What would be in it for me, and what would be fun if I would get the driver's license and lease an electric car? I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll take a look at that and see where we go.
Yeah. Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to start off with offering you a statement that's made by a biologist who has looked at what's the nature of being human and how do we function. And one of his statements is that everything is conserved around. I've got that wrong. Everything changes around what is to be conserved.
Say more.
Yeah. Okay. So we may desire change in our life, and there may be some really things that are really important to us that it's really crucial to be made. We want to make sure that are maintained.
Yeah.
That we don't compromise them.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah. So sometimes people talk about a balance, which is probably not quite the most accurate word, but it's more. There are things in our life that are near and dear to us that we are very reluctant and really dig our heels in about compromising.
Yeah, correct.
So we could, what can be important is getting very clear about what is to be maintained. What is it you don't want to compromise?
Yeah.
And then exploring the possibility about, well, this change in your life about getting your driver's license, purchasing an electric car and being mobile with the car, can that be managed without compromising your values?
Mm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'd love to hear from you what the values are, the things that you absolutely don't want to compromise.
Freedom.
Okay.
Autonomy.
Yeah.
There's something I noticed that I literally almost loathed the idea of having another car parked in front of the house. So it's owning the thing. What I don't want to compromise is also the financial space that it offers me.
Mm-hmm.
Not to have the car. What I don't want to compromise is the there's what not owning a car and not driving adds to my life is a slowing down. So I practice presence by walking a lot and by cycling and by by traveling by train. So it gives me lots of freedom to think, and it gives me creativity. So it's basically the me time that I have because of walking, cycling, and traveling by train.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't want to compromise that.
No. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I just made some notes here. So you don't want to compromise your freedom. Autonomy. You said owning the car. I wasn't quite sure what that was for you in terms.
Yeah, it's a visual I have that having it parked in front of my house. What am I compromising if I do? It's probably sustainability or I don't know. It's
okay.
Yeah.
But I got the impression that is it like a visual thing? It sort of it takes away from the beauty of just,
beauty. It's probably that value.
Okay.
Yeah. I live the value, I call it less is more. That's a very big value of me. Less is more.
Okay.
And it goes with that. Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned financial space. So in other words, you will have your financial space would be tighter if you purchase a car.
Yeah, because I want an electric one and they're more expensive.
Okay. And then what would be compromised is the pace of life that you live at the moment that you really value.
Yeah.
And I wondered if there was another one there when you're talking about walking. Is it something to do feeling a connection with nature?
Oh, definitely. You're spot on there. It's maybe in the core, it's all of that. It's feeling connected to nature.
Yeah. I've got a beautiful view behind you through the window.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like wild bush or forest, but it just looks.
Yeah. Well, the forest is just 1 kilometer away. So, yeah.
Okay. And if I can just come back to what's the freedom you get from not having and driving the car?
The freedom to let my thoughts run free.
Okay, right.
The freedom to the word that pops up is unexpected, the unpredictability of life.
Okay.
It can be in trains being delayed, but it can also be in witnessing a beautiful encounter between two people in one of the train.
Okay.
All that in the train.
Yes. Yeah. Great opportunity to observe humans in action, isn't it?
Yes.
The beauty that there can be with it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And autonomy. Can you just expand on that a bit for me?
Yeah. It is mostly a feeling state. I feel free.
Okay.
I feel free when I'm traveling by foot or cycling, or I can go anywhere basically. When I'm in a train station and I see all the signs to Paris, to Zurich, to it's like expansion of my space.
Yeah. I don't know whether the word spaciousness is.
That's good. That's a good word. Spaciousness. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas I literally feel confined in a car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've said a couple of things that sort of anticipated what we could just have a look at next, which is how do you feel emotionally in terms of not having a car at the moment and living the values that you've shared?
I actually feel a bit torn because, and I don't know what values are not because of it, but because actually my daughter said something yesterday which triggered me or touched me, and she said, well, don't you think, and don't take it as a how did she call it, as a judgment. She said, she's 12, don't take it as a judgment, but don't you think that not having a driver's license and not having a car is a bit of egotistic?
Okay.
And I thought, oh, interesting.
Mm.
So I thanked her for her perspective, but I also thought, well, is she right in some respect? Because she said if we would own a car, it would be so much easier to just without having all the planning stuff, with just going and not spending 2 hours on a train. So she doesn't share my values.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, but look, it's fascinating. I think because part of the approach, or part of my approach to coaching is an idea that comes from philosophy, that to be human is to always to take care of what matters to us.
Yeah.
And we have things that deeply matter to us, around which we build our life and we live our life.
Mm-hmm.
And so, to me, you fantastically outlined really key things that deeply matter to you.
Yeah.
And my question around emotions was more about what emotions do you have about these things you've shared that deeply matter to you?
Yeah, interesting. Safety. It feels. Yeah, I think it's safety.
Mm-hmm.
I can also sense, when you ask that question, I sense a bit of sadness. Um, it's a tremendous love for nature, and a gratitude to be able to be part of that. But it also feels like my safe haven to feel connected and to experience that spaciousness.
Okay. Yeah. This might not be on the mark, but I just had an image of you at the moment being able to go around in a safe bubble, whatever you do in life, and connecting to the world from that. Yeah. Okay. And this, I was curious about the sadness. What's that about?
Yeah, not sure. I was just noticing it. Might be the awareness that that I'm somehow possibly making it difficult for my daughter, for example. Yeah. And also a sense of just a question, what is it I'm so attached to that that I feel that resistance towards just getting the thing. Getting the driver's license. You don't even have to purchase a car. You could also share one, you could rent one, you could be everything.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's a great question, actually. What am I so attached to?
Yeah.
Don't
have a clue.
No. Perhaps if we just hold that for the moment and maybe come back to it.
Good.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so thank you for what you've shared. So in terms of the emotions associated with what you deeply care about are safety, like having a safe haven, feeling that for yourself, sadness, which you just explained, love for nature, and gratitude. Yeah. Are there any other emotions that you are aware of in relation to these things that you hold dearly?
Yeah. If it's an emotion, it's an enormous zest for life. It's aliveness.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like an energy.
What's that? An energy?
A certain energy about you.
Oh, energy. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's a life energy. Yeah.
Okay. Brilliant. And how do you feel in your physiology and your body around these things that matter to you?
I feel one when that's when I experience the spaciousness and the connection, and when I slow down. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it has a huge spiritual connotation to me.
Okay. I had a sense of you feeling like bodily integrated.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Whereas I feel alienated when I'm in a car.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. I literally feel alienated. And actually now a memory comes back that I actually do not have that in an airplane, but in a car I feel my feet are not touching the ground. And it feels uncomfortable. I don't like it.
Yeah. Okay.
So it has a negative impact on my physiology.
Because in a train or a bus, you're also
so that's weird.
Space, aren't you? Yeah. Okay, that's okay. Yeah. Well, is it okay if we move on and look at what is it you care about that could be influencing you towards the possibility of getting your license. And maybe,
yeah, yes, yeah.
So what is it? Yeah, what do you think? What's important to you? What will you be able to take care of that matters to you if you get your license and could drive?
Well, what I could take care of is making it easier. And immediately voice pops up, say, a taxi is just as easy, but a cab. Making it easier for my children or my significant other and my parents, if I did have a driver's license.
Okay.
I could easily take them shopping or to a hospital or something like that. I could easily visit my significant other without having to schedule and plan. Yeah, it's probably also a bit more comfortable for my kids if I could pick them up by car sometimes.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's around flexibility, being flexible, being there, being practical.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So flexible, practical, taking care of like part of how we take care of ourselves is wanting to take care of others, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those that are near and dear to us, and as you said, your children, your parents, and your significant other.
Yeah.
If you were to be able to drive a car, it would take care of those things a lot better for you.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. To what extent are they being significantly compromised now by you not having a car?
Significantly compromised. Not that significantly compromised. I think ahead and think, okay, so there already was a moment when my parents, in terms of health, needed more support from me.
Mm-hmm.
And that moment is not there now, but I can imagine that in 5 years' time, things have shifted. So that's one. The other thing is that I looked into other creative options, like the possibility of having an Uber drive me to my significant other. But even that is not possible in that remote area. It's 80 kilometers away in Belgium.
Okay. Oh.
I call it the Bermuda Triangle.
Okay.
So not significantly compromised, but I can imagine it becoming, that's the assumption I have, it will become more difficult for me once I get older to get the driver's license. And it might be that within now and 5 years, there's an urgency for me to be able to drive a car.
Okay.
I can sense that. So it feels like now is the time.
Yeah. Okay. My intuition's telling me that your intuition's telling you that
now is the time.
Yes.
So that's why I'm so surprised, because I always follow my gut. That I feel so resistant. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That you'd be going against yourself.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Okay. And like, as you've been talking, I'm thinking, well, there's actually a few stages here and a few possibilities. Like, first of all, the first stage would seem to be getting your license.
Yeah.
Then you could decide where you want to go from there. Do I want to purchase a car?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I want to try getting around via car to take care of these other things that are important to me in my life around family and significant other?
Yeah.
Without actually purchasing a car.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'm interpreting that if you have a car, you want to do least damage to the environment that you can, so you won't significantly or compromise your values too much.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and maybe I'm also afraid that once I get to that, now that you're mentioning this, that once I have it, I own it, that it will compromise my walking and cycling habits.
Okay.
Because I will choose the easy, lazy way, as I see lots of people doing. So it's a bit of distrust into my own
okay.
discipline there. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I fear that.
Yeah. It's really interesting. One perspective on technology is that it can be fantastic, opening up all sorts of possibilities for us in our life.
Mm-hmm.
Like this conversation we're having now, it's just the technology behind it's just amazing. Yeah. And technology also has the potential to close down possibilities.
Yeah.
And I always think it's a bit dramatic, but you think at some stage people invented an axe, which was a wonderful invention for doing all sorts of things, particularly keeping warm in a European winter, right?
Yeah.
Cutting down trees. But on the other hand, an axe can kill people.
Yeah.
So there's always like this two-edged sword aspect of technology. And I suppose it comes back to, how do we want to use the technology and develop our own disciplined practice around that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I think emails and social media and all that's just got fantastic possibilities, but we see endless examples of it being used destructively in human relations. And it seems like people not developing practices that enhance humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what sort of, if I put it this way, what sort of faith do you have in yourself of developing what, if I called, without it being rigid, but kind of practices that you're really committed to live from and by?
Yeah. Around this. Well, it informs me about not actually having to own a car. And the practice I could develop is asking myself, before I open the door of a car I might own, is asking myself, am I honoring my values at this moment? How necessary is it to use the car? Or I could say, well, actually, I'm only going to use the car to travel to my significant other and for emergencies.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Okay. So you could make a commitment about the circumstances under which you would use the car?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Commitment to, I'm writing it down to the
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
What can help, Jessica, in honouring our commitments is actually speaking them, what we say publicly, which could be to one other person. Like the technicality in language is they're called declarations. So a person takes their authority to declare what they will and will not do.
Mm-hmm.
And when they say that, at least to one other person, they're basically saying, I'm willing for you to hold me accountable for acting consistently on this commitment I've made.
Yeah. Yeah.
And who would you think would be one or two people, I don't know how many, that you think it could be helpful for you to make these commitments to?
Yeah. I lost you for a bit, Alan, because the internet connection looked unstable.
Okay. Yep.
But what I understood from what you said is, can you think of people that can hold me accountable to my commitments.
Yes, yeah.
And I was thinking there's even a step earlier maybe, and that is that that I organize some people holding me accountable to living up to my commitment of getting the driver's license.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Because I did commit to that daring goal, and I'm not acting on it. So I think I need to first of all create an accountability structure around that.
Yeah, okay. Good thinking.
Yeah.
And the point I think it's important to emphasize is you're willing to be held accountable.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm willing. Yes. The willing part.
Yes, yeah. Because it's got to be more than the New Year's resolutions. I'm going to lose 10 kilograms in 2 months type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Me willing. Am I willing? Yeah. There's again, while asking the question, I still feel that little bit of resistance popping up in my stomach.
Yeah. Okay.
Have to be honest there.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, can I suggest something?
Yes, please.
Could you ask your stomach, what is that resistance?
My stomach says no one tells me what to do. There's a rebel in there.
Yeah.
It's the freedom thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting. But that's contradictory because I'm telling myself I want to get my driver's license. The only thing I'm asking is next is, will you be willing to hold me accountable?
Yes. Yeah. I'm wondering if there's always been a really nice rebel inside you. No one tells you what to do, and you might thinking you're compromising that kind of spirit within you.
I might be assuming that. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And the risk of sometimes the expression is like, well, we're just like everybody else. We're going with the herd. Like if you get your license and eventually say you purchase a car. Whereas what I see is what you're saying is, well, yeah, I'll purchase a car, but I'll decide. I'm the authority.
Yeah.
Under the circumstances in which I'll drive it. Yeah. And you might think it's unusual that my car sits in the drive all the time. That's my life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I'm also thinking, now that you said, I'm compromising. I could be compromising that rebel. I don't want anyone telling me what to do. I might also decide that actually quite a nice thought that I put the rebel behind the steering wheel when I have driver's lessons. Why not?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called, the steering wheel?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. you get the lingo.
Okay.
So let me just pause and check how you're going with the conversation. What are you getting from it?
Well, the aha I just got is that I'm actually at the steering wheel in how I want to be when I have these driver's lessons. So what I'm noticing is that I probably made up a story about it having to be really serious, boring, unpredictable, no fun.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm
okay.
thinking, what if I would take the mindset that I have when I'm in a train, open for surprises and curious and interesting stuff. What if I take that together with I will do it my way when I'm having the driver's lessons.
Okay,
That's
okay.
where it's bringing me at the moment.
Yes, okay. And I'm just wondering, because I'm going to use a terrible word to you, maybe a terrible word called conformist, right? But we do need to conform to the requirements of being a driver to be let loose on the roads, right?
Yes, conformist.
Yeah. So I suppose it's how could you still maintain the rebel within you while being judged to satisfactorily meet the requirements of being a driver, in Netherlands and in Europe.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's going to be a very interesting question.
Okay.
To explore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Conformist. Yeah.
Mm. Well, the words probably doesn't sit very well with you, but there's lots of things in life, and I'm sure. I mean, you did a coach training course, and you would have needed to meet the requirements.
Yeah.
To be granted a certificate.
Sure. Yeah.
So there's lots of things in life we do that if we can't meet social standards, we're not judged to be effective to go and do different things in life. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what a driver's license is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as much for you as it is for other people's safety.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. It is.
Mm.
Yeah, and I'm actually pretty okay with meeting these standards. I have a value around that as well. So, I love. I also love it when people play by the rules, especially when it comes to traffic.
Okay. Yeah.
And I also notice that when I do open the books, that I notice that there's still a lot for me to learn around traffic rules and regulation that I forgot. So, yeah, I think what would be helpful for me is to ask myself the question, to just make sure that I open the books and I commit to opening the books first. But also that I ask myself the question, what am I actually learning? And also what is fun?
Okay.
What is fun about this?
Okay.
I think that would be helpful.
All right. Could I propose another possible question?
Yes, please.
What might I learn about myself through this experience?
Yeah. That's probably the best question. Yes. Might I learn about myself through this experience?
And remember, you've still got
an adventure.
Remember, when you get your license, you've still got a choice about how you want to use it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What might I learn about myself through this experience? Yeah, that's the one I'm gonna ponder.
Okay. Can I come back to a question you posed earlier on? What is it I'm so attached to?
Yeah.
Is anything occurring for you around that?
It's something around doing it my way.
Okay. What your stomach was telling you.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
my daughter. That
Yeah.
it might be a bit of an ego thing.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not proud of it, have to say.
No,
Feel a
no.
bit of shame around it, but it's I think that's the attachment.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's I don't know if there's maybe a slight reframe of that could be, the Frank Sinatra song, I Did It My Way. Well, I'm going to do it my way and
Yeah.
still meet social standards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a yes and still meet social standards.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I could offer an interpretation, going back to the statement I said at the beginning, everything changes around what is to be conserved.
Mm.
I'm wondering if one key thing that you were concerned wasn't going to be conserved was, no one tells me what to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That if you can be assured that isn't going to be the case, what difference that makes for you seeing a path forward to exploring, getting your license and maybe getting a car and driving.
Yeah. If that's being conserved, I still experience the spaciousness. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And also the awareness that one owning a car or getting the driver's license is not gonna take out the wild woman in me.
No.
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 So it's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And could I ask, with that thought, how do you feel emotionally and in your physiology?
Spacious, actually.
Okay.
Also excited. Excited to get surprised by possible answers to the question, what might I learn about myself during this experience?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's lovely.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's different. Something shifted also in the stomach. There's more, it feels comfortable.
Okay. More spaciousness in a positive sense in the stomach, not an expanding out.
No. No. Yeah.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Well, you're most welcome. I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. Yeah.
Me too.
Are you okay if we finish up there? Yep.
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Yep.
It feels full circle.
Okay. And would you be able to provide a brief summary of what you've got from the conversation, what you're going to go and do?
Yeah.
With that?
Yes. Well, first of all, a deeper awareness around what really deeply matters to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that the car has become kind of a symbol of a possible symbol of compromising that.
Yeah, yeah.
And also a new awareness around the rebel part of me, the wild woman part of me holding me back in this account.
Okay.
Still curious around the willing. So I feel energy there. Am I willing to be held accountable? Work to do there. And what I'm going to do is definitely, well, two things. I am going to ask my significant other and my children to hold me accountable to getting the driver's license in, let me see what's realistic, in 2020.
Okay, yeah.
And I'm going to do so with a continuous question of what might I learn through this experience. So I'm going to see it as experiential program.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice investment.
Yeah.
Of learning new stuff about myself, of doing it my way, and meeting social standards. I think this sums it up.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. And if I can be of further support, please do get in touch. And I don't mean this on a commercial basis. If you'd like to have another conversation, I'm only too happy to be available.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Go back to you, Joel.
Thanks, Jessica. Thanks, Alan. So yeah, let's just debrief this conversation. And I guess I'd just love to ask you, Alan, first. What do you make of the conversation? Like the arc of the conversation? What was happening for you there as the coach? Like what was guiding you in a sense?
Obviously a lot of exploration, not knowing if the paths were going to be productive or not. But I think a few key things. That statement that I mentioned at the beginning, like everything changes around what is to be conserved, is very crucial, I think, in supporting people to change. And the terminology we have in the ontological approach to coaching that we worked a lot with is concerns, which doesn't mean worries, but it means what matters to us or what deeply matters to us. It comes out of the philosophy of Martin Heidegger. And lots of times in life we hit snags because somehow we can't get a reconciliation between things that matter to us. They seem to be in opposition to each other. And often without realising, we can create stories and negative images about the future that continually block us. I think the other thing for me was it's always important, I think, it's not just what's happening with the person's thoughts, but it's what's happening with them in their emotional experiences around what they're trying to reconcile, and what's the sort of physiological correlates of that as well. And I think the other thing is just trying to provide plenty of space for Jessica, because I could see a number of times she'd gone into what seemed like some quite significant thinking for herself, and to allow space for that to happen, and sometimes tentatively offer some sort of reframing or some different wording that hopefully might connect for her. And apart from that, a little bit of nervousness of being on video.
Of course, I think that's one of the things with coaching live is you never know how it's going to go, do you? So
no, that's right.
Yeah, thanks for playing along with that. And I noticed that in the coaching that you kind of seem. That was part of my question. Was there was quite a bit of time exploring values, which to me seemed to connect to concerns. Yeah, like what are the values on either side of this? This dilemma in a sense. And then you asked about emotions and physiology. And so what's important about having all three of those be included in the conversation?
Well, the idea is that's such a key part of how we function as humans, how we learn and we change, that we've always got thoughts. We can write or speak our thoughts. We're engaged in conversations with others. So language is just part of being human. A lot of our language we're often doing to ourselves out of awareness. So trying to sort of dig behind the actual spoken words and see what's the deeper language is really crucial. And as I say to people, there's no way out of emotions. They're an integral part of our biology. So to ignore them, I think potentially we do a disservice to the coachee, and all of that lives inside our physiology. What I thought was really significant is when Jessica identified the voice from her stomach.
Right.
Because that's where I think there was a deep concern there for her about being true to herself, like doing it her way. No one tells her what to do. So that was a physiological manifestation of something that really mattered to her.
Yeah, I noticed in that moment you actually asked her, what does your stomach say about that?
Yes,
so that's the kind of questions that we can ask in those moments. If someone's
Very much, yeah. We could take it, whatever interpretation, you could take it's a message from your intuition. You know, sometimes they're screaming at us that we haven't paid any attention to, or, you know, it's quietly telling us something. And as a coach, we can, it sounds strange, but you can support people by inviting them to set up conversations with different parts of their body. And it's a way of looking at expanding what do we mean by language and how we function in language. Well, you know, often our body's speaking to us silently, and we can make, I think, pretty solid interpretations about a lot of those signals that we tend to be getting from the body, but we may not be very good at tuning into.
Because that led to, I think, a shift. I want to bring Jessica in a moment, but the last question I have is like, you know, at the end, it felt like there was a real shift that took place, and I think it was connected to that, you know, that earlier connection to her stomach, and then you asked her, like, how do you feel about that emotionally? I actually can't read my own writing here, but there was something important about that. Maybe this is where I can bring Jessica in, because then she started to notice there was a different experience around this whole topic. It felt like spacious and excited. Could you say something about that shift, how you saw it?
Me or Jessica? Sorry.
You first, Al, and then I'll come to Jessica.
Yeah, I sensed, well, she said the word spaciousness, which I thought was fantastic, because that was what she said was so important to her in her other values. And I just sensed a lightness about her, like that she seemed lighter in her persona, which is often you can see physiologically, like something had been lifted from her. But I can't remember if there's any other words around that. Maybe Jessica can help us out with
Let's
that.
bring you in, Jessica. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything you want to reflect or speak about in that moment, or any other?
Yeah, it definitely felt as a lightness, a spaciousness, and also I mentioned the word fun.
Yeah.
So it feels more like something to explore, more surprise. That was definitely the big shift from feeling confined to spaciousness.
And it seemed like there was a new possibility when that shift took place. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. So it's the possibility of doing it my way and honoring my values. And what was really helpful for me is indeed Alan giving me time to reflect and think, and checking in with how do you feel with my physiological state at that moment, but also with my emotions, and connecting these connecting these gave me these insights. So that was really helpful to me. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thanks. Yeah, I noticed that at the end, Alan, you were giving more space. It felt like in between the questions, and that felt important too. As you said, you know, to let Jessica go through her process.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sometimes I say the coach, he's on a roll. Yeah. Let them keep going. Get out of their way.
Yeah. Well, is there anything either of you would like to share as we kind of bring this to a close? Anything you'd like to share about the coaching demo or coaching in general?
Well, thank you, Jessica. I'm serious. I did very much enjoy the conversation. It was lovely, and thank you for presenting the issue that you did, because it was a really, really nice stretch to coach to.
Yeah.
And to you, Joel, thank you for the opportunity, and what you're creating here, I think is fantastic.
Cool. So thanks very much.